Absolutely.
and growing.
Yes.
Okay, now let's talk about culture and leadership.
Sure.
The world is more interconnected,
Yeah,
and leaders need to navigate different cultural contexts.
definitely.
So how do you lead effectively across cultures?
Well, Yukl talks about cross-cultural leadership,
Okay.
and he says that culture has a big impact on how leadership works.
Right.
What works in one culture might not work in another. So leaders in a globalized world need to understand those cultural nuances.
Yeah, there's no one-size-fits-all approach when you're dealing with people from different backgrounds.
Exactly. What are some things leaders need to be aware of?
Yeah.
Well, Yukl highlights the work of Geert Hofstede,
Oh, yeah.
who created a framework for understanding cultural differences.
I've heard of that. Can you give us a quick overview?
Sure. So Hofstede identified 6 dimensions of culture,
Okay.
and each one affects leadership. Let's look at power distance.
Okay.
Power distance is how much less powerful members of a society accept that power is unequal.
Okay.
In high power distance cultures, like in Asia and Latin America, hierarchy is important.
Okay.
Leaders are expected to be directive and make decisions without much input.
So a top-down approach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in low power distance, cultures like Scandinavia and North America,
Yeah.
equality is emphasized.
Okay.
Leaders are more collaborative and involve their teams.
It's interesting how those cultural values shape leadership.
It shows how important cultural sensitivity is for global leaders.
Right.
What's seen as strong in one culture might be disrespectful in another.
If you're not aware of these differences, it could cause problems.
It could. And Yukl gives examples of how these differences challenge leaders.
Right.
He says leaders need to develop cultural intelligence.
Oh, cultural intelligence.
Yeah.
I like that. What does that mean?
It's the ability to work well in different cultures.
Okay.
You're aware of your own biases,
Uh-huh.
sensitive to the norms of others,
Right.
and able to adapt your communication style.
So it's like a cultural GPS.
That's a great analogy.
Right.
You can develop it through training, experience, and being open to differences.
So be curious, open-minded,
Yeah.
and willing to learn from others.
Exactly. The best approach to leadership depends on the culture.
Now let's talk about gender diversity in leadership.
Absolutely.
It's getting a lot of attention.
It is.
And for good reason. It's not just about social justice.
Right.
It's good for business. So why is it so important, and how do we get more women in leadership?
Well, first, it's about fairness.
Okay.
Women are half the workforce, but underrepresented in leadership.
Yeah, we need to fix that. Why does this gap exist?
Unconscious bias, societal expectations, and a lack of support.
Okay.
And it hurts organizations. Companies with more women leaders do better financially.
Interesting.
They're more innovative and have more engaged employees.
It makes sense that different perspectives lead to better decisions.
Exactly. Yukl points out that women bring unique strength to leadership.
Okay.
They're collaborative, empathetic, and good at building relationships.
So we need to recognize and value those contributions.
Yes. Yukl challenges those old stereotypes about women in leadership.
Right.
He says it's not about gender, but about skills, experience, and commitment. So how do we create a more supportive environment for women leaders?
Organizations have to be proactive.
Okay.
Create mentorship programs, offer leadership training for women,
Right.
and build a culture that supports women leaders.
So everyone has a fair chance. Exactly. Gender diversity isn't optional.
Uh-huh.
It's necessary for success.
Let's broaden our view of diversity.
Okay.
It's not just gender. It's about including everyone.
Definitely. Yukl talks about diversity and inclusion.
Okay.
He recognizes that it includes race, ethnicity, age, sexual orientation, disability, and even personality.
So it's about making everyone feel valued.
Exactly. It's about seeing diversity as a strength.
Right.
It leads to better decisions, innovation, and a more engaged workforce.
So we embrace those differences
Yeah.
and use them to benefit everyone. How can leaders manage and foster diversity and inclusion?
Well, Yukl says leaders need to create a culture of inclusion where everyone feels safe to be themselves and share their ideas.
Yeah.
It's about valuing and respecting differences,
Okay.
not fearing or suppressing them.
So you're not just hiring a diverse workforce. You're
Yeah.
creating an environment where everyone can succeed.
Exactly. And he gives practical advice for leaders.
Okay.
Be aware of your own biases.
Right.
Seek out diverse perspectives.
Okay.
Promote open communication.
Uh-huh.
And celebrate everyone's contributions.
It's about belonging.
Yeah.
Where everyone feels valued.
Exactly. He says inclusive leadership is not just the right thing to do.
Mhm.
It's key for success in today's world.
Organizations need to adapt to keep up.
Yes,
And diversity helps with that.
absolutely. It brings new ideas and a better understanding of the market.
Yeah.
You can tap into more talent and serve customers better.
Right.
Inclusive leadership is not just moral, it's strategic.
I like that. It's not just the right thing.
Yeah.
It's the smart thing.
Exactly. Now, leading diverse teams comes with unique challenges,
Okay.
and Yukl gives insights on how to do it well.
Okay.
One key point is acknowledging and respecting differences.
Right.
People from different backgrounds might have different communication styles, different ways of solving problems,
Yeah.
and different expectations of their leaders.
So you have to be aware of that and adapt your style.
Exactly. No more one-size-fits-all leadership. Be flexible
Right.
and adaptable.
So be culturally sensitive and recognize that what works for one might not work for another.
Exactly. And create an environment where everyone feels safe to share their ideas,
Okay.
even if they're different. It's about open dialogue and respect.
So psychological safety, where people can speak their mind.
Yes, that leads to creativity and innovation.
I agree. When people share their ideas, you get better decisions.
Exactly.
This has been a great deep dive into leadership.
It has.
We've covered so much,
We have.
from basic skills to leading diverse teams.
Yeah.
We just scratched the surface.
True leadership is always evolving.
Yeah,
But Yukl gives valuable insights.
he does. What are some key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, I think the most important is that leadership isn't about power.
Okay.
It's about serving others, empowering them, and making a positive impact.
It's about inspiring,
Yeah.
motivating, and creating a shared vision.
Exactly. And leadership isn't a destination, it's a journey.
Right.
It's about constantly learning and adapting.
I love that. It's about embracing the journey.
It is. And it takes self-awareness,
Yeah.
humility, and commitment.
Well said. It's inspiring to think of leadership as a journey that unfolds throughout our lives.
It is.
And it offers opportunities for growth at every stage.
Yeah.
A key takeaway from Yukl's work is that leadership is not just for those with fancy titles.
Absolutely.
It's for anyone who wants to make a difference.
I agree. He reminds us that leadership isn't about hierarchy or power.
Right.
It's about influence service and making a positive contribution.
It's recognizing that we can all be leaders,
Exactly.
no matter our roles.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and Yukl makes leadership accessible.
Okay.
He breaks it down into skills and behaviors that anyone can learn.
It's not some magical quality.
Right.
It's a craft you can develop.
Exactly.
That's empowering.
It is.
It means we can all be leaders,
Yes.
no matter our experience.
Right.
So how do we cultivate our potential?
Be proactive
Okay.
and intentional about development.
Right.
Look for chances to learn. Step outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Get feedback and reflect on your experiences.
Embrace that growth mindset.
Exactly. Believe you can always improve.
What advice would you give to new leaders?
Well, one thing I've learned is to build authentic relationships.
Okay.
Leadership is about connecting with people,
Right.
inspiring them, and working together.
Yeah.
And that means building trust, empathy, and rapport.
So it's about really connecting with people,
Yeah.
not being distant.
Exactly. And listen,
Okay.
really listen to what people say,
Ah.
not just their words, but their tone, their body language,
yes.
their emotions.
So listen with your ears and your heart.
I like that. Be present and show you care.
Okay, good. What else?
Develop your self-awareness.
Okay.
Leadership is about self-discovery.
Right.
The more you understand yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, values,
Yeah.
the better leader you'll be.
Self-awareness is so important
It is.
for growth
Yeah.
and development.
It helps you be authentic and empathetic.
This has been a great deep dive.
It has.
We've learned a lot
Ah,
about what it takes to be a leader
yes.
in today's world.
Definitely.
It's been insightful
It has.
and inspiring.
I agree.
I'm sure our listeners will feel the same.
I hope so.
We covered a lot,
We did.
from basic skills to diversity and inclusion.
It's been a great overview.
Yeah, using the wisdom of Gary Yukl.
He's a leader in the field.
Right. His work is a roadmap
It is.
for anyone who wants to lead
Yeah.
with purpose
Uh-huh.
and integrity.
Absolutely.
Time to wrap up.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
And remember, leadership is a choice.
It is.
Step up,
Yeah.
make a difference,
Right.
inspire others,
Absolutely.
and make the world better.
Couldn't agree more.
So go out there and lead
Yes.
with confidence,
Uh-huh.
integrity,
Yeah.
and a commitment to serving others.
That's what it's all about.
I think that's a perfect note to transition into one of the most important takeaways from Yukl's work,
Oh, okay.
which is that leadership is not just for those with fancy titles or positions of authority. It's for anyone who aspires to make a positive difference.
I agree.
whether it's in their workplace, their community, or even their families.
I wholeheartedly agree. Yukl reminds us that leadership is about influence service and making a positive contribution. And that's something we can all strive for.
That's a powerful message. It's
Yeah.
recognizing that leadership opportunities are everywhere,
Exactly.
not just in the boardroom.
Right.
I like that.
And Yukl makes leadership less mysterious.
Yeah.
He shows us that it's not some special talent.
Yeah.
It's a craft you can develop.
Right.
Exactly.
That's empowering.
It is.
It means we can all be leaders,
Yes.
no matter our experience.
Right.
So how do we cultivate our potential?
Be proactive
Okay.
and intentional about development. Look for chances to learn,
Uh-huh.
step outside your comfort zone,
Yeah.
get feedback, and reflect on your experiences.
Embrace that growth mindset.
Exactly. Believe you can always improve.
What advice would you give to new leaders?
Well, one thing I've learned is to build authentic relationships.
Okay.
Leadership is about connecting with people,
Right.
inspiring them, and working together.
Yeah.
And that means building trust, empathy, and rapport.
So it's about really connecting with people,
Yeah.
not being distant.
Exactly. And
Huh?
listen,
Right.
really listen to what people say. Not just their words, but their tone, their body language,
Right.
their emotions.
So listen with your ears and your heart.
I like that. Be present and show you care.
Okay, good. What else?
Develop your self-awareness.
Okay.
Leadership is about self-discovery.
Right.
The more you understand yourself, your
Yeah.
strength, weaknesses, values,
No.
the better leader you'll be.
Self-awareness is so important for growth and development.
It helps you be authentic and empathetic.
This has been a great deep dive.
It has.
We've learned a lot
We have.
about what it takes to be a leader
Yes.
in today's world. It's been insightful
It has.
and inspiring.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sure our listeners will feel the same.
I hope so.
We covered a lot,
We did.
from basic skills to diversity and inclusion.
It's been a great overview.
Yeah, using the wisdom of Gary Yukl.
He's a leader in the field.
Right. His work is a roadmap
It is.
for anyone who wants to lead
Yeah.
with purpose
Uh-huh.
and integrity.
Absolutely.
Time to wrap up.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
And remember, leadership is a choice.
It is.
Step up,
Yeah.
make a difference,
Right.
inspire others,
Absolutely.
and make the world better.
Couldn't agree more.
So go out there and lead
Yes.
with confidence,
Yeah.
integrity,
Yeah.
and a commitment to serving others.
That's what it's all about.
It's inspiring to think of leadership as a journey that unfolds throughout our lives, offering opportunities for growth and impact at every stage. And I think that's a perfect note to transition into one of the most important takeaways from Yukl's work, which is that leadership is not just for those with fancy titles or positions of authority. It's for anyone who aspires to make a positive difference in the world, whether it's in their workplace, their community, or even their own families.
I wholeheartedly agree. Yukl's book is a powerful reminder that leadership is not about hierarchy or power. It's about influence service and a commitment to making a positive contribution. And that's something that each of us, regardless of our formal roles or titles, can strive for.
What a powerful message. It's about recognizing that leadership opportunities exist everywhere, not just in the boardroom or the corner office.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the things that makes Yukl's work so relevant and inspiring. He demystifies leadership, breaking it down into tangible skills and behaviors that anyone can develop. He shows us that leadership is not some mystical quality that some people have and others don't. It's a craft that can be honed through practice feedback and a willingness to learn and grow.
That's a really empowering message for our listeners. It means that each of us has the potential to become a more effective and impactful leader, regardless of our current role or level of experience.
Absolutely. And I think one of the most important things we can do to cultivate our leadership potential is to be proactive and intentional about our development. It's about seeking out opportunities to learn and grow, to step outside of our comfort zones, to get feedback from others, and to reflect on our experiences.
It's about embracing that growth mindset we talked about earlier, believing that we can always become better leaders. I'm curious, do you have any personal tips or advice for those who are just starting out on their leadership journey? What are some of the things you wish you had known earlier in your career?
That's a great question. I think one of the most valuable lessons I've learned over the years is the importance of building authentic relationships. Leadership is ultimately about connecting with people, inspiring them, and working together towards a common goal. And that requires building trust, empathy, and genuine rapport. That makes so much sense. It's not about being aloof or distant. It's about connecting with people on a human level.
Exactly. And I think one of the best ways to build those strong relationships is to be a good listener. Really listen to what people have to say, not just to their words, but to their tone of voice, their body language, and their underlying emotions.
It's about listening with both your ears and your heart.
I love that way of putting it. It's about being present, being attentive, and showing genuine interest in what others have to say.
Yeah.
I think another piece of advice I would offer to aspiring leaders is to focus on developing your self-awareness. Leadership is a journey of self-discovery, and the more we understand ourselves, our strengths, our weaknesses, our values, our motivations, the more effective we can be as leaders.
Self-awareness is so crucial for growth and development, not just as leaders, but as human beings.
Absolutely. It allows us to be more authentic, more empathetic, and more intentional in our interactions with others. This has been such an enriching deep dive into the world of leadership. I feel like we've gained a much deeper understanding of what it takes to be an effective and impactful leader in today's complex and ever-changing world.
It's been a pleasure to explore these insights with you, and I hope our listeners have found this deep dive as insightful and inspiring as we have.
I have no doubt they will. We've covered so much ground, from the practical skills of time management and delegation to the more nuanced aspects of emotional intelligence, ethical decision-making, and leading across cultures. We've even touched on those big picture concepts of strategic leadership and the importance of diversity and inclusion.
It's been a comprehensive exploration of leadership, drawing on the wisdom and insights of Gary Yukl, a true pioneer in the field. And I think his work offers a timeless roadmap for anyone who aspires to lead with purpose, integrity, and a deep commitment to serving others.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this incredible deep dive. Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration of leadership. We hope you found it as insightful and inspiring as we have.
It's been my pleasure.
And remember, leadership is not just a position, it's a choice. It's a choice to step up, to make a difference, to inspire others, and to leave the world a little bit better than we found it. So go out there and lead with confidence, integrity, and a deep commitment to serving those around you.